Hi, I just wanted to go over with all of you the culminating activity, just in case you had any questions. So, as you know, you could have started working on the culminating activity as early as Unit 1. But just to go through how to find it, you can find it under content. You can find the culminating activity in assignments as well. And you could also find it in Unit 4 under content, but it is in Unit 1 as well. So if you click on content and you scroll to Unit 4, and then you click on course culminating, you'll be able to see the assignment here for all of Unit 4, but mostly Unit 4 is the culminating here in 4.2. So you'll see that your culminating task is worth 30% of your mark. So it's worth a very large chunk of your mark. So it's really important that if you have any questions, you ask before it is due. The due date is the final due date because that gives me a little time to look over what you've submitted and give you any feedback in case you really need to change something if you did something wrong. So your culminating is going to include the slideshow, all the journals that you have done throughout the course, and your reading log. And you're just going to go over your portfolio with me verbally. So you can use Screencastify. That's what I'm using right now. Or you can use WeVideo, and you'll be submitting your culminating as a video for me to listen to. So if you click on the final culminating slideshow, you will have to make a copy. And a lot of you have already saved what you've been working on so far in your portfolio. And if you submitted the midway check-in assignment, I will have given you feedback on what you have already. But your portfolio will look like this. You need to edit and change this as much as you want. This is just an example, but you can change the background. Obviously, you can change the title. You can change whatever you wish. You need to make sure that you're updating everything here. In slide 2, it gives you the direction. So when you're submitting your final culminating, obviously you take this slide out because you wouldn't need that in your culminating. So it just says that the portfolio is a collection of your best work done in the course, and you're making it your best work now. And you should be picking assignments from each of the units, and they should be writing assignments. So it shouldn't be little small assignments, for instance, like the crossword. They should be pieces of writing. And you're going to pick 5 pieces of writing from the course. So from unit 1, 2, 3. You can pick a couple from each unit. And then you're just going to highlight what you've polished. So if I've given you feedback and you've made edits, highlight those edits and tell me what you've done. You're also going to submit your journals and your reading log, like I said. For the rubric, you can click here to see how you're going to be assessed. On your next slide, you're just going to list, you're going to take this out and you're going to list your 5 pieces that you picked. So for instance, one of these pieces that you just did in Unit 4 could be your cover letter. And if I've given you feedback, you're going to show me how you've changed that feedback. You can keep final reflection here, reading log, and journals, because that's all things you're including in your portfolio. So here's an example of somebody's writing. And they just have done a paragraph, and you can see that they've highlighted some things here, and then they've told me. So things I fixed a comma, indenting, I added some transition words, I added an MLA format. Why did I pick this? I picked it because I thought it was a better piece of writing once I've made all the edits. And when you're doing your culminating and you're videotaping yourself or recording yourself, you don't need to read the whole piece to me. You can simply just explain to me how you've edited and changed it to make it a better piece. And obviously, you would delete this sort of thing here once you're creating your own slideshow. Again, you're going to put another piece here. So maybe it's your opinion paragraph that you did, things you fixed, why you picked it, and so on. So you should have 5 pieces of writing that you've put in your slideshow here. Once you've picked your 5, you're going to complete the course reflection, which is just answering this question in a paragraph form. And if you click here, you should be able to see an example of that. Finally, you can just take a screenshot of your reading log and adding it here, and you should have numerous examples. Definitely, you should have more than 5 or 6 examples on your reading log. And again, adding your journals here. So you could add a link to all your journals. Just make sure it is shared with me so that I can open it. Or you can add it as a separate document if you want and not include it in the slideshow if that's easier for you. And that's it. So you're just going to be editing this slideshow. So if you're somebody that thinks, oh my goodness, like I can't remember all the journals, one quick way to see what you should have completed is either, of course, go through all the content, or you can look at the checklists I've created for you. So if you click on checklists, you can see unit 1, 2, 3, and the final unit. So if you click on unit 1, it should take you to the checklist, and you can see everything here. So for instance, if I wanted to know what journal 1.1 was, so 1.1 stands for activity, unit 1, activity 1. The question was, what have you learned so far and what is your reading goal? So you're answering that in sentence form in your journal. So that's your first journal. If you're like, ooh, what's the reading log? Here's the link to the reading log. And you can just go through the checklist like this. Okay, here's journal 1.2. Here are the questions, and then you're going to answer those questions. And you can go through and see everything this way in the checklist form. And that's like a really quick way to see everything that you should have done in the course. And I find that quite handy. So you can see that for each one of the units. So any questions, always head back to the checklist to see what you should have done. Once you've completed your culminating, you're going to go to the assignment page and submit that. So again, make sure your slideshow's there, your reading log is there, and your journals are submitted to me, and it's all shared with me so I can open it. Always make sure you're checking your email and checking your feedback for the assignments once you've submitted it, just in case I need something else from you, because again, it's 30% of your mark, so a very large chunk of your mark, and you don't want to be missing anything in case that affects your grade in the course. If you have any questions, please make sure to email me before the due date.